And it's back to racing we go with the Unlimited Lights Heat 2A. Here is your lineup. A lot of boats in this one. The Trafficade with Will Muncie at the controls, Ryan Mallow in the Numerica Credit Union, Miss Critical Logic, Paul Becker, Graham Trucking, it's Greg Hopp this time, not Jerry, Army Strong Napa Auto Parts, the Boat Electric and Kaylee Perkins coming in with no points after the first round, and the Shucks Venture Bank, the G7 boat, that's going to start 10 seconds behind Dustin Eccles at the controls, Heat 2A.
Unlimited Lights Heat 2A is presented for Seafair by Super Steel Crane. Quality lifting and service since 1937.
And so we come out with a little more than a minute before the start of this race inside the cockpit of one of the boats, and we start with Chip. A couple of drivers in this race, Chip, in heat number 1, could not stay on the right course. Will they be able to find their way around? I'm thinking of Paul Becker and Kaylee Perkins.
I don't think they're going to make the same mistake again, but both these guys have to win or finish second. If these aren't 1-2, they're going to have a hard time getting into the final.
That camera shot, by the way, from Greg Hopp inside the Graham Trucking boat, and Mike Fitzsimmons out on the start-finish line. Greg Hopp, pretty good driver in the lights and the Unlimiteds.
And definitely the spoiler here, if anybody gets in the way of Paul Becker or Kaylee Perkins, it's going to be this guy, Greg Hopp, and we're going to see what he sees from his boat cam, of course, in the cockpit of that Graham Trucking boat. Okay, they come around the upper corner now, and the lanes are established and leading them through on the inside. We have that orange boat, the Numerica Credit, is on the inside. Next to that is the Critical Logic. Outside of him is Graham Trucking with Greg Hopp. Kaylee Perkins is in the pack as well, but back a little bit and riding some slop as they come down here on the start. And it looks as though we've had a legal start. Green flag is up, and Greg Hopp has control as they come down into that lower corner, but on the inside, Critical Logic with Paul Becker is trying to run him down.
Now, Paul Becker, that inside boat, he's got a smaller engine, so he can run inside. Greg Hopp out there on the outside, he's got to stay out there because he has a larger engine.
Now poking her nose in third place, and in between those two boats is Kaylee Perkins in the Boat Electric as she tries to run down the leaders. Now with the superior horsepower, Greg Hopp from the outside is about 3 boats ahead, boat lengths ahead of the Critical Logic with Paul Becker as they head into turn number 2, the north turn, and they all figured out the buoy line, and they're running the right course this time as they come around. And Paul Becker on the inside tightens up his corner, has a very fine run of it through that upper corner, and will at least be side by side with Greg Hopp at the start finish line, but Greg still has a better head of steam as they go back down into that lower corner again. For some reason, Kaylee Perkins has slipped back a little bit further from them, but she's still within their mirrors. And in fourth place overall, Numerica Credit with Ryan Mallon is staying in there, at least keeping it respectable. Down the back chute now. Once again, Greg Hopp from the outside. He has superior horsepower, Chip, but the cornering capability of Paul Becker may make the difference.
Yeah, and in third place, Kaylee Perkins ran out of place to run. They came together and there was no water. She had to go from lane 2 out to lane 4, so that hurt her. She's in big trouble, folks. If she doesn't get up there quick, she's going to have a hard time being in the final.
She knows it. She's keeping the throttle open as she goes into that corner one last time. Another nice corner by the Critical Logic of Paul Becker, but once again, the superior horsepower of Greg Hopp as the white flag shows for one more lap around. Greg Hopp a couple of boat lengths ahead as they finish lap number 2, but Kaylee has caught up just a little bit now, but she's really riding some ugly water in between those boats.
Now watch this area right here. If they get to that corner and they come together, that leaves Kaylee right here, no place to go. If you get that top shot again, you'll see that Kaylee just can't find water. If the water's rough, see, there it is again. She had to go out the outside. Now she's running in that wake in this terrible water in here. You can't go fast in there.
And that has caused her to fall back further. Now, it appears as though Greg Hopp is getting a little bit better straightaway run this time and has drawn a little bit more distance between he and Paul Becker as they go into the upper corner for the last time. The checkered flag should show here on the start-finish line as coming around the corner, it is Greg Hopp. And he has tightened the corner down a little bit and has demonstrated that superior speed and a good, strong cornering capability and good driving means you accept the checkered flag first. He just did. Second place will be Paul Becker in the Critical Logic. Third place, Kaylee Perkins, some distance back.
Paul Becker, if I owned an unlimited hydroplane, I think I'd put Paul Becker in it. That guy kind of quietly, week in and week out, makes perfect starts, makes very few mistakes. He's a very impressive driver, whether you're talking unlimited or lights.
And, of course, he started out driving a boat that was the oldest on the water, and he got every bit of the measure out of that he possibly could before he moved on to a better piece of equipment.
Man, be pointed out, Kaylee did a great job. She just never had a chance. She was trapped from the start and couldn't squeeze between Becker and that inside boat, but she drove it great.
Well, I'll disagree with you there, Pat. I think she had a horrible start. She was very late and outside, and you just can't win from out there. So this is a day Kaylee wants to forget. She missed buoys. She made bad starts. She had an engine failure. This has not been Kaylee's day. She's
going to have to get into the final, if at all, through the B main, which, of course, comes up tomorrow. Good news for Will Muncie. He managed to get the Traffic Aid WardingPower.com across the finish line, get a checkered flag in 5th place overall.
That's the way to celebrate a win in Heat 2A here. The Unlimited Lights. Greg Hopp is standing by with our Bill Rocky.
Steve, that was a great race for Greg. A couple of drivers that really needed points, yet you were able to win the heat.
Yeah, you know, I think we got second place points that last heat, but we really kind of needed to win and ensure ourselves in the final. And we don't want as much cycle time as possible on it, so running the B main wouldn't be running it again. So our goal was to win that one, and the Graham Trucking GT boat took it all. So it was a great race with Paul Becker. I mean, he was running great. The boats are pretty much twins, so it was kind of hard to beat your own boat on the outside.
How tough is this for you guys in this water here at Seattle for your class of boats?
Well, you know, that's probably the best water we've had all weekend, and it was still amazingly rough. I don't quite, you know, it looked like glass, and the prop was out of the water more than it was in. So it's just the unlimited scale, you know, span the rollers better, and these boats are like perfectly the wrong size to fit in all the rollers here.
All right, Greg, good luck the rest of the way. Steve, Greg Hopp's now the favorite in the lights.
He is indeed. And he's got the excitement to show it as well. Here are your official results from Heat 2A of the Unlimited Lights with Graham Trucking on top, Critical Logic, Miss Boat Electric. Tough day for Kaylee. Followed by the Traffic Aid, Army Strong, Napa Auto Parts. And those are your results, official results. When we come back, you know, I don't think those folks have a TV out there, but if they did, with them, they would watch Heat 2B of the Unlimited Lights, taped yesterday here on Lake Washington. More boat racing, more air show, the Blue Angels still to come. Time for more Unlimited Light Racing, Heat 2B. Let's take a look at the lineup. The Mako Gresham Drilling, Al Karstensen won in Heat 1B. The Roxy 94.5, Michael Flaherty, he won Heat 1A. The Hendrickson Irrigation, J. Craig Fletcher. The King and Bunny's Appliance, they were having some problems just a few minutes ago. They may not run. The Lake Trash with Mike Webster. The Zadaro Wilmot Racing Boat with the X-Man at the controls, and the G-Boat, the Bytown Motors Sweet Spot Cafe. David Warren will start 10 seconds back. That is Heat 2B.
Unlimited Lights Heat 2B is presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. Import, export, and regional domestic. Let us take a load off.
And we come out. They get set to racing just about 1 minute from now. High from overhead, Chopper 7. Monologue boom boats still there. Watching the light racing. And Mike, now we've got Al Karstensen, who won the last heat, against Michael Flaherty, who won his last heat.
Yeah, and both of them know that they kind of got gifts in those last heats, and they're going to have to race for it for sure this time. They slipped into it when mistakes were made by boats that were ahead of them. Now the question is, can they stay ahead on their own merit?
We do have one boat dead in the water right now. Kelly Stockland is just about to climb out of the King and Bunny's Appliance boat, the UL 40. It's not going to get up and not going to run, but it's far enough off the course down here at the south end that it should not have a problem. With 30 seconds left, Chip, your thoughts?
I like J. Craig Fletcher in this heat. He was leading the last heat, and then he had mechanical problems. So I think we're going to see a great race between Carlston, and Fletcher in this heat.
Let's find out. Mike Fitzsimmons, take it away.
And don't count out Vince Zadaro in the 3-lane. He didn't show us much last time out, but this guy's a crafty driver, so let's see what he can do on the inside. It is Al Karstens, and we have the number 11 boat, Mike O'Flaherty, in next to him, and then Zadaro, and then on the outside, that would be the Hendrickson Irrigation with J. Craig Fletcher as they come down to the first corner now, as they're going to roll around into that turn here to get their start and get into position here. As you know, that they typically will hold their lanes, come up the back chute, and get ready to go.
We got a boat dead in the water, and I believe that's Fletcher right there, so that's going to change the look of this race a lot.
Down the back chute now. Karstensen has the lead. And there is Vince Zadaro right behind him there, a lane out. Inside as well, we have J. Craig Fletcher as they come up into that corner once again. Karstensen holds the lead. Everybody made it around the turn where they're supposed to be instead of going on that long course. And Karstensen is going to come down and get scored in first place here at the end of lap number 1. And he has about a rooster tail lead over Zadaro, who is just about to be overtaken now by J. Craig Fletcher, who is moving up on the outside.
I think I made a mistake. That was Michael Flaherty that was dead in the first corner, not J. Craig Fletcher. J. Craig Fletcher is still very much in this race.
He certainly is. Third place and on the outside. Right now, though, it belongs, at least for the moment, to the number 6 boat, the Mako Gresham Drilling, with Al Karstensen putting the hammer down, and he's got a good lead. Vince Zadaro is staying with him. At least he's holding the same distance, but on the outside, Zadaro's got his hands full as J. Craig Fletcher has become a real factor here and to start to move up on the outside, and just now glides past him at the 3/4 mark of the back chute. Into the turn now. In his mirrors, of course, Al Karstensen can see this, and he can also see that Fletcher is coming on with a real head of steam.
It's funny how days go. Poor Kaylee Perkins, nothing will go right for her today. But on the other hand, for Karstensen, everything's just turning to gold.
Well, gold, but right at the moment, he's a nervous guy because with one more lap to go, it may be gold. But Craig Fletcher is thinking that could possibly be his fate in this heat. He's going after him pretty well.
And remember, he didn't finish the first heat, so he isn't going to sit back there in second. He wants to win this.
He's got a lot more boat speed, and he's driving a much larger race course at the same time, but he is reeling in Al Karstensen at this point. He's now about 3 boat lengths back, and he has got the hammer down as they go down the back chute. He's got superior boat speed. He's now about 2 boat lengths back. He's virtually in the prop wash at this point as you see him on the outside there. The angle indicates a little more distance than there. That's a little bit better look at it. The angle is a little bit deceiving because those boats are very close.
He really, this is the I think I can. He desperately knows he's got to get in front of Karstensen.
Yeah, with about 1,000 feet, though, that's not going to work. Karstensen, I think, has got just enough to make it happen for him. The checkered flag is out, and Al Karstensen wins one rather than slips into it. But a very close second place. It goes to J. Craig Fletcher in that Hendrickson Irrigation boat. And we got a good battle from Vincent Zadaro, and also Zadaro just let go. The lake trash got by him with Mike Webster just at the finish line.
That boat's called Lake Trash. It doesn't make you want to buy property there, really, does it?
It's Lake Trash Apparel.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not property.
Okay, and that's a good thing.
So there's your winner, at least unofficially, for Heat 2B. That's Al Karstensen, so he's got a couple of wins under his belt here today.
He's looking really good, and these points are really a mess right now because there's been so many mistakes and breakdowns that some of the favorites may not be in the final.
So again, another reason why everybody needs to just stay tuned throughout the day of racing, because as we know, anything can happen, Mike, at any time.
Well, and one other thing that has happened, Michael Flaherty is up and running once again. And he is going to try to finish. He was down, of course, for almost a lap and a half in this contest before he got restarted. And he is going to get scored, it appears. And so he will get some points, but it looks like he'll have to slip into the B main. His points may be a little less than necessary to make it happen for a ride in the final.
You actually have about 5 minutes to finish the heat. Here's the last corner, and Fletcher is desperately trying to get in front of Carstensen, but that inside lane is just worth so much. I mean, you're going, I don't know, quarter of a mile less around that corner.
Well, you knew this had to happen at one point or another, Chip. After a penalty situation on Al Carstensen, the winner now has been declared J. Craig Fletcher in the Hendrickson boat. Let's go to Bill Rocky.
Steve, you needed points here, and you got them. You didn't get any in the first heat. How do you feel about that?
Well, we really needed to pull out Heat 2B. We were about half a lap ahead in Heat 1, and 2/3 of the way from the finish line on the last lap, we lost fire and had to thrash for a couple hours to get the boat running again, but the crew did a fantastic job, and I missed my marks on the timing of the score up, so I really had to get around and catch the field at the start, but we hit the start with 2 other boats. I managed to get around one of them. The other one I was fairly certain was going to incur a penalty for score up infraction, so but we drove the daylights out of it, and we probably could have caught Kerry, or Al, but happy with first place. It gives us a good chance possibly to advance on points into the final. If not, we'll be in the B main and we'll be at the final anyhow.
Thanks a lot. Good luck the rest of the way. Steve, back to you.
Thank you.
All right, Bill Rocky, so here are your results officially from Heat 2B. Hendrickson Irrigation, Roxy 94.5, MyTown Motors Sweet Spot Cafe, and the Mako of Bremerton Gresham Well Drilling. The Zadaro team, Lake Trash Apparel, and King and Bunny's Appliances, of course, did not finish. Now we head down to the award stage for the awards presentations. You know, do you think those folks really care about the awards presentations? I'm guessing they're enjoying themselves out on the log boom.
This girl right there was so excited for those awards presentations.
All right, well then we're going to go right to those as those folks continue to dance for all of our light races from yesterday.
Thank you, Steve. And here are the results of Heats 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. First off, Rob Graham is going to join us for the presentation of the winner of Heat 1A. And Rob, the presentation goes to the winner of 1A, Michael Flaherty in the UL11, the Elkhead Brewing Company. Michael, come on up here. Rob?
Thanks. So, I'm Rob Graham, and on behalf of Graham Trucking, I'd like to present 1A to Michael Flaherty. Congratulations, Michael.
Thanks, Rob. This is actually the first showing for this team and the owner with this boat for Seafair, and it's great to take a first. And Rob Graham's been a part of this for years, and I hope he sticks with us. Definitely want to thank Roxy 94.5, radio station out of Olympia, Power Punch, all the sponsors, and everybody puts Seafair on. You know, General Motors and everything. Elkhead Brewery out of Buckley. They're one of our local guys. So hopefully we get to do this again in the final. So thanks.
Michael Flaherty, winner of Heat 1A. 1B, Al Carstensen in the Mako of Bremerton Gresham Well Drilling, the winner of Heat 1B. Rob?
Okay, so once again, congratulations to Al Carstensen in the what are you? The
UL6.
The UL6. I apologize. The UL6. Congratulations.
Thanks, Rob. We appreciate it. I'd just like to say thanks to Mako of Bremerton, Gresham Pump and Drill, Jessfield Construction, and Port Arthur Signs. Thank you.
Al Carstensen, winner of Heat 1B. Now for Heat 2A, the presentation to be made by Ron Barr from Sickle Steel Cranes. The winner of Heat 2A, Greg Hopp in the Graham Trucking GT. Ron?
Greg, on behalf of Sickle Steel and its family, we'd like to offer the thank you this and also a hat. Those are rare, so keep good well of it.
Put this on.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank Sickle Steel Cranes and this wonderful family back here for all part of Sickle Steel. And I also need to thank my sponsor, Rob Graham, over here for sponsoring the race, the series, the boats, you name it, he sponsors it. So, Rob, thanks for all your support. I'd like to thank Bill and Happy Rands, Happy Go Lucky back east, and Pump Tech. They're a new sponsor helping support us out here. And got the very best crew. Guys, this is for you. Woo!
Thanks.
And our winner of Heat 2B, J. Craig Fletcher from Mercer Island in the UL 13, that is, the Hendrickson Irrigation Design. J. Craig Fletcher, the winner. The presentation from Rob Graham.
Okay, so J. Craig Fletcher has our old boat, and it's fast, and he did a great job. He's got that thing dialed in great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to especially thank Rob and Graham Trucking for hosting us not only this weekend but last weekend and really supporting the Unlimited Light circuit. A special note to Hendrickson Irrigation Design and Shoreline Propeller for their help this weekend getting the boat dialed in, and my crew who did a fantastic job after we looked like we had 400 secured in Heat 1A and died 2/3 of a lap short. They really thrashed and put the boat back together, and it's flying again. So crew, thank you guys.
J. Craig Fletcher, the winner of Heat 2B. Some fabulous racing and more upcoming for the Graham Trucking Thunder Cup here at Seafair in Seattle. The B main and the final are coming up later today. It'll be some great racing. Now back to you, Steve.
All right, John Lentz, thank you. And John will be along for the call of those races for us a bit later. Just a touch of downtime right now, but not for long, as we're going to get ready to go racing with the Unlimiteds in just a few moments. But one of the best places to be, of course, is right here in Stan Sayers pits, where Chip and I are located. It's loud, it's jam-packed with action, and our Michelle Millman is in the pits with some of the highlights.
Now that we're into this a few hours, it has really picked up here in the pits. We have seen people who are here for the very first time, others who tell us they never miss it, and we found one lady who got a great big surprise when she got here.
Thank you all very much. Group hug.
Mary Vasatka picked a great year to visit the pits. Not only can she get up close and personal to the boats and the noise, but she got to meet Steve Reynolds.
Always been a favorite. Back when he was with the Circus long ago.
Reynolds hasn't raced Unlimiteds for nearly 20 years, but here he is signing autographs and enjoying every minute of it.
Wonderful. Look at these gorgeous girls. I'm celebrity. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
I grew up over on Mercer Island. It's the first time I've ever come to a race. And I could always watch the north end of the corner, but I grew up listening to these boats, and this is just a thrill.
You can also get a great view from the pits, some from better vantage points than others, and nearly everyone here with a camera to catch all the action. We caught up with Seafair pirate Bob Oddman, who isn't in costume today, but came with plenty of energy.
And it's still here in my life, and I've never missed one. Oh, it's just exciting. It's exciting.
Gene and Bobby Hensinger are huge race fans and never miss being in the pits. They're matching outfits and radio in hand. They are ready to watch and listen.
I wish they were all like the piston boat. They make the noise, it just beats against you.
And you still like it after all this
time? I still love it, yeah.
So as you can see, young and old alike just love it here in the pits. All the action being so close to the boats and the noise. They just say it never gets old. Steve, back to you.
All right, Michelle, thanks. You know, most folks that we talk to not only thrilled to be in the pits, so close to all the action, but they're also thrilled that the sun has finally come out and warmed things up here along the shores of Lake Washington. Meantime, let's head down to the award stage for the awards presentation for the Unlimited Heats 2A and 2B.
Thanks, Steve, and welcome back to the award stage for the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair. We've got two more pieces of hardware to give out. Heat 2A was won by Steve David in the Oh Boy Alberto, and here to make the presentation from the sponsor of that heat, Union 76, is Don Kaplan.
Thank you. On behalf of ConocoPhillips and 76 Quality Pro Clean Gasolines, it is my pleasure to present this award to Steve David and the Oh Boy Alberto team for running an excellent race in Seafair's 2008 Unlimited Heat 2A.
Thank you so much to Union 76 Racing Fuel, the Alberta organization, Chevrolet, and we want to wish our best to Roger Newton, who's in the hospital now, recovering from a heart attack. Thank you so much for this race. We also want to wish Dave Bryant and his family very well, and the Gregory family. Thanks, Seafair.
Steve David, thank you very much, and Don Kaplan, 76, thank you. Now, Heat 2B. Heat 2B, we've got Joy Mead from Tide, who sponsored the heat, and the winner, of course, Dave Vilwalk in the Miss Elam Plus. Joy?
Thank you. On behalf of Procter & Gamble and Tide, I'd like to congratulate Dave Vilwalk, the winner of Heat 2B in the Miss Elam Plus. Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Ty's been a sponsor of Unlimited Hydroplane Racing for a long, long time, and thank you so much for continuing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations.
Dave and Joy, thank you very much. Steve, we've got a lot more racing still to come. Back to you.
We sure do. In fact, these folks are getting set for Heat 3A, which is upcoming of the Unlimited Hydroplanes. The action's been fast and furious already today. Stand by. We've got more coming your way. And it's back to live racing, Heat 3A of the Unlimited Hydroplanes at Seafair. The Beacon Plumbing boat didn't have such a great heat last time out. Let's see what John Theoret has dialed in. And the Miss Albert Lee, the U50, needs some points, so says Brian Perkins. Let's find out if they get them in Heat 3A.
Heat 3A of the Chevy Cup at Seafair is brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. Stop freaking, call Beacon. And is presented for Seafair by Yellowtail Wines. Tails, you win.
Course looking good from Chopper 7. And so as we take a look at the boats starting to circle up and get themselves in position, let's head right to the drivers who will be participating in this Heat 3A. Well, let's not do that, as a matter of fact. Let's instead just start talking about racing as they're starting to score up a little bit here. And Chip, as you look down the list, we've got J. Michael Kelly, we've got Jean Theoret. What are you looking like?
I don't see any real threat to John Theoret here, but I would love to see Brian Perkins get a break here and get some points, because I think we really need him in the final.
Because
he's one of these young and upcoming guys that just has driven very smart, and I think he's really one of the futures of the sport. I'd love to have him get a good result here, as he had in Tri-Cities a week ago where he finished second.
Mike, you think Jean Theoret and the Beacon Plumbing can get things dialed in here in this heat?
Yeah, I think so. There are going to be a couple of folks who'll take a poke at him early up, but I don't think they're one that can pummel him very long in the ring. He's going to run away from them, I think, in this one. A couple of boats that could do that would be the 13th boat, of course, and that's the Graham Trucking. And J. Michael Kelly is now shadowing Theoret. You see Theoret right there. If you look just a little bit to the left, you're going to see the guy who is keeping an eye on him. There he is right there. And he is in the process of just staying on him, trying to kind of watch where he goes. If he turns to the infield, likely J. Michael will do the very same thing. Meanwhile, Brian Perkins is watching the two of them ahead of him, because if you pan back to the left, you'll see both Perkins and Jimmy Shane just coming by as well. This is from the other side of the race course there on the log boom side. But there he is.
I'm afraid J. Michael Kelly's running out of time. He needs some good equipment under him to get some results. I think he's got an amazing amount of talent, but has not had the equipment to really display it.
And now, this is an interesting sequence as we watch our time, minute 10 on the clock. They're right about where they ought to be. Nobody's going to be able to afford to creep down off plane at all. Looks like already the situation is one that Theoret has things in hand. Pat O'Day's got the inside lane already.
And Jack in the Box congratulates the fastest qualifier for Heat 3A. Beacon Plumbing sponsors the boat. Billy Shoemaker owns the checkerboard Comet. Jean Theoret of Montreal drives it. They won the Chevrolet Cup 2 years ago. They're the fastest qualifier in this heat in 152.419 miles an hour. And for the fastest in fast food anytime, you stop at your nearby Jack in the Box today.
Pretty good timing as they get up into the corner here. A little off on speed, everyone is. You often wonder what would happen if somebody were at the halfway point of the back chute at this point and just came on with a real head of steam. That's sort of what Brian Perkins is doing, going wide out there on the left-hand side of your screen. He's going to try to come to the line with as much speed as possible. Theoret on the inside, however, has a really, really good power curve as he comes up. So it'll be Theoret on the inside, J. Michael Kelly next to him, Jimmy Shane, and on the outside, Brian Perkins. They come across the line with a good start, and right where he wants to be, Chip Hanauer, as he moves down into that first corner, is Jean Theoret.
Pretty hard to beat John Theoret from the inside, but I would really like to see this. Look, Mr. Meyer, I'd really like to see J. Michael Kelly get a second out of here. That would mean a lot.
And he right now is occupying second place. Jimmy Shane is in third place, trying to stay in the game there as well. And on the outside, Brian Perkins is still in it as well as they come up into the upper corner now for the first of 3 times around on this race course. Jean Theoret getting on the on the skid fin there, throwing up that rooster tail pretty high as he comes around the corner. Right outside of him, still J. Michael Kelly keeping the pressure on. He does not have the brute boat speed to run him down, but if he just keeps the pressure on, you start hearing gremlins when you're out front in a situation like this. Let's check the first lap, Pat O'Day.
145, 517, and the second place boat at 141 on the first lap.
So they're reasonably close. It looks like J. Michael's keeping the pressure on, Chip.
He is. What I like about J. Michael Kelly is his sheer ability. He's a Seattle Outboard Association racer and has done so well. And I think we've got a boat going dead down here in the south
just
corner.
gave a hip check to Brian Perkins, and Perkins in the 50 boat has just come down on the Miss Albert Lee there off the corner. Bad luck for him. Up in the upper corner now. We see once again John Theoret out front. J. Michael Kelly has decided 300 points is better than trying to break to try to pick up 100 more, so he's given a lot of ground. One more lap to go. This time John Theoret comes across the line a little softer.
And yellow boat on your screen at 141, 112 for the second lap.
And J. Michael Kelly across the line in second place now, about 3 rooster tails back. It's turned into a bit of a high-speed parade, but it's also pretty sensible for the guys to stay right where they are. Jimmy Shane particularly giving a good accounting of himself out there.
I was starting to talk about J. Michael Kelly there. He has, I think, more natural ability than maybe anybody I've ever seen. He's a product of the Seattle Outboard Association where he wins almost anything. Looks like his cowling's got a little vibration to it there. I don't think it's anything too serious. But I just think this kid is running out of time. They got to get him in some good equipment to show what he's got, or I think people are going to bypass him.
John Theoret now on a checkered flag as he comes down to win this heat pretty handily. Just exactly the way he wants. He's let the race come to him. He pretty much figured he had this field handled. What was the last lap?
And with a big lead, he still ran that lap at 139.578. The number 2 boat, of course, J. Michael Kelly. And the Graham Trucking, beautiful yellow and green boat. His last lap is 119 miles an hour. They've all slowed down considerably. And, of course, the U7, where Jimmy Shane finishes third.
So 4 up to start, 3 to finish, unfortunately, for the Miss Albert Lee. Brian Perkins was unable to get around the race course 3 times, get scored. Don't know exactly what happened to him down there, but he's down in the water.
Now, you mentioned, Mike, that there might have been a hip check there, or
might have been.
It was
a little close. Jimmy Shane was coming up, but I couldn't tell from the spray whether or not he did it or didn't do it.
Now, Brian Perkins, of course, is the older brother of Kaylee. And if you were to ask Kaylee where she gets her inspiration, a lot of her driving tips from, is from her older brother. She really admires her brother, Brian.
Well, he's a good jockey. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get a race boat around the course. He needs a little bit more boat to be able to really do what he's capable of.
That's the thing we talked about at the beginning of the show. These young drivers need good equipment to really show their skills. And the really good equipment is being held by some older guys. Dave Vilwalk in the Elam, Steve David in the Oberto, and John Theoret in the Beacon Plumbing. These young guys got their eye on that equipment and want those guys out so they can get in and show their stuff.
Well, talking about good equipment, John Theoret averaged for that race with no particular competition at over 142 miles an hour. That's quick.
As John Theoret comes into the dock, and we're also looking back out there again at the Miss Albert Lee boat that is waiting to be towed back. The reason that's important right now is all of these races have been backed up just a little bit because of the flip earlier today, and the Blue Angels, really, their schedule holds. So when the Blue Angels say we've got to fly at a certain time, they're going to fly. So we want to make sure we get the dead boats in off the race course so that the next heat can be set up and run before the Blue Angels performance here for the big Seafair crowd this afternoon. There is the Miss Albert Lee with Mr. Perkins awaiting his ride back.
It's safe to say that the Blue Angels are running the city this weekend. Is that correct? They pretty much tell you when to get up, when to go to bed.
Listen, if you had one of those blue jumpsuits and drove around in a Corvette, you'd run the city too. And those guys are really something.
I've got one at home.
Do you really?
I wear it around the house.
I see. So here's a lot of happy faces down on the Beacon Plumbing dock as Jean Theoret has stepped off the boat, and I see our guard Swanson is nearby, ready to chat with Jean, the 2-time winner here. 2 of the last 3 years he's won this Seafair event.
Rabe, you with me?
I'm with you, guard. Take
All right,
it away.
let's get that camera over here and a red-hot driver. Jean, can you hear me? Got the helmet on still.
Yeah, hold on just a second here.
pull out the earplugs. They match the color of the boat, and that's always important.
Thank God for another one.
Hey, what a heat for you guys.
Yeah, we're really pleased to get another win. You know, we got inside lane, and we're really pleased for Mamo Magrito, and the Marines are sponsoring us also this weekend, so it's a great job for this whole team.
And not much competition for you in that one, and you're still cruising at 142 miles an hour.
Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got the inside lane and got a really good start, so I think, you know, it was pretty much settled there, and the water's pretty nice right now, but it still gets lumpy on the back chute.
Yeah, you got a little more racing still to do.
Exactly. We're in the final.
There you go, baby.
That's all that counts.
All right. Have fun the rest of the way.
Thanks.
Steve.
All right, Guard. And that really is what counts, isn't it, Chip? Keep the boat on top of the water, keep it in one piece, and get to the final.
Get to the final. And these guys, for a lot of these guys, it's hard to understand that. I've never really understood why they can't get that. I think it's interesting that the U.S. Marines are sponsoring a Canadian driver.
I'm sure there's something interesting about it. I can't quite figure out what that is at the present time, but there is that boat. Now, you say, when we see it bouncing around on the water like that, you say that's a smooth ride. That's how these boats are made to fly.
Well, this boat is actually running pretty hard. You see how it comes down hard on the sponsons here and here?
Yeah.
Now, in the final heat, I think you'll see the boats will have more air under them. They'll loosen what we call loosening the boat up. That'll make the boats go faster. And watch those sponsons, how gently they touch the water as compared to what you just saw there.
All right, let's take a look at the unofficial results here of Heat 3A of the Unlimited Hydroplanes, the Miss Beacon Plumbing with Jean Thierret. Then comes the Graham Trucking, FormulaBoats.com, and then a couple of boats that did not finish. As a matter of fact, I don't think Ken Muscatel in the ProCraft windows even got very far away from the dock at all. So there you are, unofficial heat results, Heat 3A.
Heat 3A of the Chevy Cup at Seafair has been brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. Stop freaking, call Beacon.
Congratulations to Jean Thierret and the Beacon Plumbing, the Muckleshoot photo finish winner of Heat 3A. Experience the biggest and the best. Muckleshoot Casino and Bingo.
And when we come back, still more racing. Heat 3B. Don't go away. And it's time to go back to live racing with Heat 3B of the Unlimiteds. And here are the storylines we're following. Maybe three of the best boats out here today. Dave Vilwalk cruising in the Elam. Will he cruise to a victory? How about Jeff Bernard? He got a little bit angry, not at himself, but at the officials a few moments ago. And Steve David, is he in position to win his second straight Chevrolet Cup at Seafair? That is Heat 3B.
Of the Chevy Cup at Seafair is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of Seafair, with 4 daily nonstop flights to Denver, and is presented for Seafair by Chevrolet and American Revolution.
And here we go. Here are your boats, the Elam Plus, the FormulaBoats.com, Oh Boy Alberto, Our Gang Racing, Albert Lee Lake Ridge Paving, and they're having trouble getting away from the dock. They may not make the race. MirageBoats.com, the Fred Leland boat with Greg Hopp at the controls. Taking a look out at the course. And again, a beautiful sunny day as the skies have cleared and the boats are ready to go racing. We will take a look at the men at the controls of these boats for the final heat race of the Unlimiteds. Here we go. Dave Vilwalk in the Elam Plus. Again, 2 first places, Mike, the boat to beat today.
Yeah, and he may get another first place in this one because he knows that the competition behind him is working on one another, not him really, and it'll be smart for him to just keep his nose clean here and not try to race him.
Jeff Bernard, who made a huge mistake in the last heat in the U5 Formula boats, jumping the gun, and Chip, he's got to make up for that.
He's got to make up for jumping the gun, and he's got to learn a lesson to accept responsibility when things don't go his way. Everybody's working on the same rules here. They have the same opportunity to screw up, and they didn't. So he's got to take responsibility for that.
Bill Rocky, what's the story there?
Well, twofold. He needs points first and foremost, and like you guys said, he has got to settle down and mentally get into this.
We'll see if he does. One guy who's mentally always into his races is Steve David in the Alberto boat, Michael.
He's got a couple of agendas in this one, too, as well. One, he has to give Dave Vilwalk a little bit to think about for that final heat because they're both going to be there. And number 2, He's got to figure out how to stay ahead of Jeff Bernard if he can and continue to gain some points. Remember, Vilwalk hasn't raced much this year so far, so he is not having to key on Vilwalk, that is, Steve David isn't, in order to get points. He would be foolish to try to race him.
I think Jeff Bernard has snookered him, and he's going to have the #1 lane this heat.
Starting to look that way.
All right, Guard is, what's the Alberto camp talking about?
Oh, they're talking about it a lot. They want a little bit of smoother ride, and they also want to be a little bit faster, so they changed out their propeller. So, Steve, we'll see what happens.
All right, here are the rest of the boats in Heat 3B. Kip Brown in the Our Gang Racing boat.
Jumped the gun in the first heat. This is his first time to be able to race with no holes barred. I hope he doesn't try to make it up by doing something too aggressive and getting himself in trouble. He's going to be one to watch.
Mike Lakeridge Plumbing barely got away from the dock. Dave Williams and company.
Not going to be a factor here, but he'd just like to finish a heat.
And finally, Fred Leland's boat. Greg Hopp at the controls with the Mirage.com.
Would love to see him in the final for Fred, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see him really doing even all that well here.
Pat O'Day.
Well, Jack in the Box congratulates the fastest qualifier in this heat, David Vilwalk, formerly of Port Orchard, now of Auburn, in his Elam, 155.249 miles an hour. And oh, by the way, for the best in fast food anytime, stop at your nearest Jack in the Box today.
All right, Jeff Bernard out of the corner, just about 900 feet further up than he was the last time. Pretty much the same scenario. He's going to have to ratchet up. He's a little closer to the line this time than he was last time. And he sees the rest of them coming in the mirrors. Don't get too anxious. That's the issue. Looks like this time he didn't, but he doesn't have the boat speed. And Stephen David is going to lead him across along with the Elstrom and Dave Vilwalk as they come down into that first corner now. Let's see if everybody leaves some room. They do. Everything looks pretty good, but Jeff Bernard on the inside is going to try to stay in this one if he's got boat speed, and coming out looks like he does. And he's side by side now at this point with the Elam, but the Elam has the superior boat speed too. And the outside of him, you see, of course, the old boy Alberto. They're jumping around a little bit out there, Chip. That was not a bad start this time for Mr. Bernard.
No, Jeff Bernard did a good job. He knows he has to have the inside because he's got to win here because he's got to make up points. So he did what he had to do. And frankly, I'm surprised he got up to speed as quick as he did because he was very early.
He was indeed, but that power curve was pretty good for him. It's going to be the Elam leading as they come down to end lap number 1 here. On the inside in second place, it's Jeff Bernard in the Formula boats. And in third place, oh boy, Alberto.
And the speed on the first lap for the Elam at 144.721 miles an hour.
Through the corner now, Chip. Basically, the business for Vilwalk is just try to stay clean here, leave everybody enough room. Don't get any reason to call the ire of the officials.
I hope that Steve David's got more horsepower than he's showing right now. He's in third place there on the outside. Because right now, Dave Vilwalk and the Elstrom boat is kind of showing they are really, really dominant. And it could be that Steve David's holding back because he really doesn't need more than a third. Or it could mean that that Elstrom boat is just maybe even unbeatable.
It's probably a little bit of both, but we want to remember, too, the only one that Steve David really needs to race in this to gain anything at all is the fella he just passed into second place, and that's Jeff Bernard. Steve David in the old boy Alberto, second place. Jeff Bernard, third place as they come across the line. Pat, how about the speed?
And now you just saw a lap of 151 miles an hour, almost qualifying time for the Elam.
Very, very quick.
Now, the reason it's important for Steve David to stay in front is national points. Jeff Bernard is the guy that's closest to him in getting that team national point championship, so he would definitely like to finish in front of Jeff.
Let's sneak back to third and fourth, where a dandy race has been going on way back in third and fourth. And of course, that's Kip Brown, and he is racing a Greg Hopp back there, and he just got around him to slip into fourth place, and that's got to be a heck of a racing experience for the rookie Kip Brown.
Now, of course, Kip jumped the gun in the first heat, but right now he's just trying to get experience. So coming from behind a Greg Hopp and passing him, that's a good experience to have.
Checkered flag for this fellow. He is Dave Vilwalk, of course, and he's having a great Seafair Chevrolet Cup right now. First place once again. Oh boy, Alberto comes across second place, picks up another spread of points against the third place boat. This one, the Formula One, and Jeff Bernard. The Formula boats, that is, Jeff Bernard. And here comes Kip Brown across the line in fourth place. That was probably one of his best races. He just barely edged out Greg Hopp in the MirageBoats.com.
And Dave Villwalk, taking no prisoners, turned that second lap at over 150 miles an hour. Amazing.
I hope we're going to get a chance to talk to Nate Brown, the uncle of Kip, to kind of see how old Uncle Nate's feeling about the performance of his young nephew.
There you see the Elstrom boat all by its lonesome out there, having just won this one in a walkaway. Dave Villwalk, while he's been very focused today and always very amenable, chatting with us, saying earlier today, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to push and shove and move people around, and I'm just going to run the kind of race I need to run. And as a driver who's been around a long time, Chip, and as we've talked about, the old guys versus the young guys, he's not ready to give up anything yet.
Oh, absolutely not. Remember, he would like to have the all-time win record, and he's got a boat under him that may be one of the most evolved, highest performance boats ever. This Elstrom family has done such a great job, and this team is so deep in talent. Now remember, this is a team sport, and I would say there's maybe 3 or maybe 4 guys on that team that could actually be crew chiefs on any other team.
Where might this team be, Michael, if they'd have gone ahead and raced back east?
Well, they very well could be way out in front in points right at the moment. Who knows? There were 3 races on the East Coast, and only 2 of them got completed. The Gold Cup didn't get finished, as you know. But the big problem was that Stephen David did not get the kind of points he thought he would get on the Eastern Circuit in the absence of the Elstrom boat. And because of that, he's still in a pretty tight points race with the FormulaBoats.com.
But Jeff Bernard's done some damage to his hopes on that championship today, and Steve David's gained some ground.
Yeah, he kept racing hard in that heat, did Steve David, and got second place points just now in front of Jeff Bernard. At least unofficially, that's the case.
Well, it's kind of hard to figure what Bernard was doing. He's got a lot of boat speed, but he was only running about 130, 31 miles an hour a lap. Yeah, he slowed down considerably.
Well, essentially, he was picking up some points when he realized he was going to go pick up any placement. He was picking up his points there to make sure he had a little insurance to get into that final. In that case, he'll let it all hang out.
So that's the bottom line. These guys are in the final, and you throw Jean Thioret in there, and we've just seen our 4 top boats that will be in this final heat coming up a little bit later, the Chevrolet Cup here at Seafair.
I tell you, that's a very, very dominant boat. That's a very, very experienced driver, and I tell you what, if you're Steve David, you got your work cut out for you in the final to beat that combo.
Well, and especially the way Dave Villwalk likes to dive down and get that inside lane and fight from inside. He's tough to beat in there.
He does, but he's made mistakes trying to get that inside, and sometimes I thought it would be better for him, because he's got such a great boat, to just stay out there in lane 2 or 3, let the boat do its job, and, you know, get out in front maybe by lane 3 or 4, or by lap 3 or 4.
Yeah, you know, Chip, this Pat, in the past, we've talked about the dominance. Remember the years of the dominance of the Budweiser and so on. But we, you know, Villwalk is good, but we really don't have that dominance anymore. I've never seen so many fine pieces of equipment and fine drivers that all have a shot at winning that Chevrolet Cup here at Seafair.
Well, Patrick, one of those guys is the driver of the Elstrom boat, and that would be Dave Villwalk. He's with our Bill Rocky.
Thanks, Steve. Dave, we were wondering if you might just kick back that heat, but the opposite was true. You turned a lap over 150.
Well, we had to show the Elstrom team has done a great job. We got a real race boat here this weekend, and we're racing for that charity, and we're going to be hard to beat. We just took the lane, the inside guys too early, made him pay for it, managed to pull away.
All right, Sven, what do you think? Your driver's having a pretty good day.
He has a good day, but he never had a bad day, actually. No, everything is fine. He's doing a great job.
Dave, do you change anything for the final?
I think we'll just check everything and look at what we did, and but we got the best race boat we've had here in a long, long time.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Steve, they're doing pretty good so far.
I'd say so. I don't think they have any complaints here today, but Chip, as you know, certainly you know, you've raced here an awful lot. Anything can happen in that final when you put all those boats out there and all those rollers and all that speed.
And let's remember, for the past 3 years, the Elstrom boat has been the one that was an odds-on favorite back then, and they couldn't capitalize.
Right. All right, let's check in with Steve David now down with Gard Swanson.
Well, a little bit of a slow start. You finished second, but you guys just keep racking those points up.
That was it. We got to keep the 5 behind us. We met them 3 times today and got them all 3 times, and that's, the goal at this point. Now in the final, our goal is to win, keep it safe, not make any mistakes. Elam's real fast, but I think Alberto was up to the challenge, but certainly Elam's the boat to beat today.
Yeah, what do you think about the Elam? Was that a statement race for them?
He's always has a statement to make, and we certainly know that Eric Elstrom and that whole team and Dave are the benchmark in the sport, and we appreciate that. And Alberto is, emulating them, doing everything we can to run as quick as they do.
Your guys told me you changed out the prop. Any difference from this heat to the last one?
Yeah, it had a little bit less top end, and Elam kind of advantaged. It had much more acceleration. We got to the first turn first, but it just didn't have the top end.
Any changes going into the final, you think?
Yeah, we sure will. If I told you the Gar, I'd have to hurt you.
Or at least throw me in the water.
Throw you in the water, yeah, and that's illegal.
All right, go have fun. Hey, Braves, back to you.
All right, Gard. I got a feeling you're going to stuff some sausage in the back end of that boat and make it go a little bit faster.
I think it's going to be sausage, pepperoni, hard salami, everything in their market catalog is going to go in the boat.
By the way, again, remember last year when the Alberto boat won, and they won for Art Alberto on his 80th birthday, so that must mean he's celebrating his 81st right about now as well. So happy birthday, Art Alberto. And here come your unofficial results for Heat 3B. With Dave Vilwalk and the Elam Plus, there's the Alberto boat. Jeff Bernard's FormulaBoats.com, our gang racing, and the Brown team, Mirage Boats, and Dave Williams and the Albert Lee Lake Ridge Paving.
Heat 3B of the Chevy Cup at Seafair has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of Seafair, with 4 daily nonstop flights to Denver.
Congratulations to Dave Vilwalk and the Elstrom Elam Plus, 3 for 3 on this Chevrolet Cup, and the Muckleshoot photo finish winner of Heat 3B. Experience the biggest and the best, Muckleshoot Casino and Bingo.
And Michael, you could be talking about this as the biggest and the best. That's Fat Albert, the Blue Angels support craft. And that big guy is going to come flying over the race course here in just about 30-35 minutes. The prelude to the Blue Angels, and we've got it all for you right here. Your live, continuous coverage of Seafair 2008 and the Chevrolet Cup right here on KIRO 7.
Live coverage of the KeyBank Air Show at Seafair is presented by KeyBank, proud sponsor of Seafair.
A beautiful day in the Emerald City. We're coming to you from Lake Washington. From that shot, looking north to the downtown skyline, then down along the shores of Lake Washington, Genesee Park, the Stan Sayers Pits. Oh, what a beautiful scene. What great racing we've had, and we've got more winners to address. Let's head down to the presentation stage and Jeff Randall.
Thanks, Steve. We are back at the award stage for the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair with more hardware as we head towards the big trophy. This time, we're going to start off with Heat 3A, sponsored by Yellowtail Wines. I've got Rob McGinnis and Brendan Bias to present our award to Jean Thierret of Miss Beacon Plumbing.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. John, on behalf of Yellowtail Wines, congratulations on a fantastic race. We look forward to much more success. All righty? Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Congratulations.
Thank you. On behalf of Beacon Plumbing and the Marines, we thank the Yellowtail for sponsoring the Heat 3A. Thank you very much.
John, congratulations, Yellowtail Wines. Thank you very much for sponsoring that heat. Now we've got Heat 3B, sponsored by our title sponsor, Chevrolet. Bruce Allen is here to give the trophy to, what a surprise, Dave Vilwalk.
Mr. Vilwalk, on behalf of the 38 Northwest Chevy dealers, congratulations. See you later? Okay, for sure. Thanks. Thanks to the Elstroms that allowed me to do this, and I'm just hoping we can get there for the Ronald McDonald House.
Dave, congratulations, Chevrolet. Thank you once again. And guys, back to you up in the booth. Thanks, Steve.